There they go out there. They're doing it. Vote for Ill Cat, y'all. That's the first thing I want to say is vote for Ill Cat 2024. And also go subscribe to my other channel, Cat the Glitch. And I want to build that channel up. I'm going to put videos on there that I'm not going to put on here. So go subscribe to that channel. Put some exclusive content on there. And if I get 50 subscribers, then I can go live on that channel. So everybody go subscribe and go tell your friends. But if you're a TI, you probably don't have any friends like me. So go send it to the other TIs or something. Be like, yo, go check out my boy Cat the Glitch. So yeah, if I get 50 subscribers, I can go live on there, and then I can record on there. And I already got 1 strike on this channel. If you get 3 strikes, you're out. And I got it for a pointless reason on an old video. And then they couldn't explain how it is, like they said it incited violence, and it doesn't incite violence at all. There's no anything inciting violence in it. So I was like trying to appeal it, and they wouldn't let me appeal. So then I went on Twitter and talked to the YouTube support team. But it's not a team though, it's just a robot. And it's just like, check out our policy on bullying and harassment. We can still not put your video back out. It is deleted. I'm sorry, Dave. No can do. So at first they said it incited violence, and then they said that it was bullying and harassment. But it's neither of those things though, really. So I don't know what was up with that. So they might do that again, and then I'll get 3 strikes, and then I'll be out of here. My channel will be deleted because YouTube is insane like that. So go subscribe to my other channel. Also go subscribe to Yibo's channel. YEBO. I just put it in my community page. Lately, he's been making all these documentaries where, like, he just keeps putting them out. He's got like 20 hours of these documentaries now, where he just keeps, it's the same thing over and over and over. And it's just really crazy to see like how widespread it is, and how like it's like an infinite rabbit hole of just people doing all the Masonic symbolism, like all the celebrities and stuff. But like he's like going like around the whole world, just like looking up all these different like artists and like posters and like album covers and just everything. And he's like looking into like the fashion industry, like all these models and all these different people are doing all the same like Masonic symbolism, doing the one eye and doing the shh with your finger over your mouth, and doing the 666 and doing the devil horns and doing the one hand in the pocket and one hand in the shirt and all that in these photo shoots and stuff, and like music videos and all this stuff. And he's just like putting all this side by side in these documentaries, like just like showing one after the other after the other after the other, and then it's like all the same thing. And then like he was like live last night doing it, like researching, and just showing how he does it. But like all these different people that he was looking up, they all have the same tattoo, or like not all of them, but a lot of them have the same tattoos. They have these wings on their throat, on their neck, or on their back. Either one. They have the one eye tattoo, and then they have, like a lot of them have a rose tattoo on their arm, and but like they all share the same tattoo. Like not all of them, like I said, but a lot of them. Like it's all like they all have wings and they're all on their neck. And then like some of them have like multiple, like they'll have the wings and then they'll have the one eye and they'll have a rose tattoo on their arm. And he's just showing literally like thousands of examples of the same things over and over and over. So it's kind of crazy. Like when you look at the whole, like all these documentaries that Yibo's doing, it's pretty crazy. Because I've seen, a lot of people make compilations like that, but I don't think I've ever seen one that's like that massive. Of just like all these different people doing the same things. It's pretty wild. And then he was showing like all these different album covers too that have one eye and stuff like. And like I said, it's just infinite. Like he just keeps going. It's crazy. Anyway, also the that ice cream brand that has the pedo heart as its logo. That's pretty weird, right? I don't know. Who's in here? How's everybody doing? So I went to the store today. I went there, like someone sent me some food at Walmart. So I went there last week and they brought out these chips that they said were refunded. And I should have just took them, I guess, because she was just going to give them to me anyway. But like, they're like, we refunded these like before I went there. And then I get there and they bring out the chips. And I'm like, aren't those refunded? And they're like, yeah. So they brought them out though, but anyway, they took them back. And then, so I was like, okay, it's refunded. But then it turns out it wasn't refunded. So I was like, okay, I'll go back for the chips today. I go back today, and then they bring out the wrong ones, like the wrong flavor, whatever. Which I don't want those ones. And then so they go back, and to get the other ones, they come back out with those same ones, and they're like, "Which ones was it again?" I'm like, "It's this one. I just told you." And they're like, "Okay, we'll go." I didn't say that, but like, I was like, "It's this one." They're like, "Okay, we'll go back and look for it." And then they come back and they're like, "We don't have those." And then they're like, "We'll refund it." I'm like, "Okay." So it was just like it was just like 20 minutes. I was sitting there for like 20 minutes today, and it was just like a big waste of time. And it seems like an orchestrated thing, which they always do things like that just to purposefully waste your time. But then sometimes, like, maybe it's not an orchestrated thing. Maybe it's just they actually are confused and they don't know what they're doing. Or there's some type of miscommunication or something. But they always do things like that, though, to waste your time purposefully. Which is not really a waste of time because I don't really have to be anywhere anyway. So I don't really even care that much. Like sometimes like that, like I don't really care today, but like I think that's what it was though. And like everywhere I go, there's just people getting in my way to slow me down, like going in the checkout line of the stores and like getting my way in aisles and stores and like getting your way in traffic if you're driving, whatever. And like every time I cross the street when I'm walking, there's people pulling up to it. Like there's no cars at it until I walk up to it, and then there's a bunch of cars driving through. I gotta wait for them to cross. And then the other night I was walking around, and this guy was in a white car. He's coming from the right of me, and then there's a white truck coming from the left of me as I'm walking up to this intersection. And I just like they're both like driving, like they'll always have them driving up the street where it's like by the speed that they're driving, you can tell like if I would have crossed the street, he would have met me right when I get across there. But then I stop though, just to let him go through, and then he stops in the middle of the street. And they just always do this, like I either go and then I gotta like hurry across the street so he doesn't run me over or like act like he's going to or whatever. It's either that or I stop and then they stop and just sit there and wait for me to go. Or we have a standoff, Mexican standoff. We're just standing, I'm just standing there and they're just sitting there in their car. I'm just staring at it. So that happened the other night when I was crossing the street. There's this white car coming from the right of me. There's white truck coming from the left of me. And I just stop and then they both stop. And I was just like, I'm just standing there. I just stand there and wait for them. And the white truck started driving like right after but then the white car was just sitting there. And he just kept sitting there. And I'm like do that, like I'm looking at a watch. And I was just like, just standing there like that. And then he finally goes. But again, like I wasn't in a hurry to get anywhere, so he wasn't actually wasting my time. He's just wasting his own time, really. But that's like every time I cross the street, pretty much, like during the day at least, every time I cross the street, it's like that, pretty much. They're either just driving by me or they're doing that. They're like, or like they'll be driving in the other lane, like I'm all the way across the street, and they'll be in like the center lane, you know, like away from the street, like I'm out of their way, but they wait, but they stop, and then they start driving right when I get up onto the sidewalk. Like they act like I'm in their way, but I'm completely out of their way though. They could just keep driving. But they do that so that they can start driving again right when I step up on the sidewalk and drive behind me. It's like every time I cross the street, things like this are happening. It's just stupid. But yeah, I don't know what I even went live for. I just wanted to talk about some things and stuff. And like, I don't know. Um, I was talking to someone about 9/11 predictive programming today, which if you know, you know, but there's literally 1,000 examples of this. And that's also really crazy how that is an infinite rabbit hole. Like over the years, there's literally a million examples of 9/11 predictive programming. And The Shining and 2001 A Space Odyssey are both about 9/11. And there was a Vice magazine article where it was Beavis and Butthead flying around the Twin Towers in planes with turbines on in like 1992 or something, or whatever year it was, 90 something. And 1,000 other ones. In 2001 A Space Odyssey was made the same, came out the same year that they started to build the Twin Towers. And it's called 2001, which is the year that 9/11 occurred. And it's in the hotel across the street from the Twin Towers was built after the monolith from 2001 A Space Odyssey. It looks like the monolith. It's like a Hilton hotel or something. It's right across the street from Twin Towers, and I think it was destroyed, or I don't remember. And like the moon base on 2001 looks like Ground Zero, and yeah, it's pretty wild. They built them to tear them down, and then there's a lot of things about the Golden Gate Bridge being destroyed in movies that they all, or a lot of them, have the number 811 on the same scene somewhere in the, like, subliminally. They'll have the number 811, which people think is gonna get destroyed on August 11th some year. Like iRobot is one, and like, you know, like X-Men 3, where Magneto destroys the bridge, stuff like that. There's bots out here circling around doing clown dances out here in their cars. Uh, what was the other one? There's like what is it? Monsters versus Aliens. I think there's a Golden Gate Bridge scene in that where they destroy it. I don't know, man. I don't know about that one, you know. But it seems like there's something to it when you really look into it. But it's just a really but also it was built in 1933 and it's orange. It's not golden. And orange equals 33. Like, why do they call it the Golden Gate Bridge if it's orange? It's not the Orange Gate Bridge. But I don't know, I forget. There's some other movies. I think it's some Transformers movie, and I think Godzilla or whatever. I don't know. Nice. That's good. So yeah, I don't know. Go check out the other videos that I posted. Ebo's adrenochrome documentaries. Both of them are really good, and it's basically like a compilation of his older videos with some new stuff thrown in. But like, yeah, it's good stuff. But on that, I don't know. Just go check those out. That's another rabbit hole that I've talked about a bunch of times. And it's really fucked up how they just put this shit right in your face. Oh, I was gonna talk about Hocus Pocus 2, Part 2, where they're eating the baby face thing. It's like a face mask, like what do you call it? Like a facial face mask thing, you know? They're like at Target or whatever, Walgreens or whatever, and it's this product. It's like a face mask thing. But it's called Baby Face, and then she's like putting it on her face, and then she's eating it. It's like a face. It's like a mask, like you know. But she's eating it though. The movie Hocus Pocus is about adrenochrome, and that's on the sequel. So yeah, it's fucking weird. This UPS guy out here, and this other guy, and all these other guys with the other guys. Yup. Just again and again, all day. Every time I look out the window. They're syncing up way in the background and close by and everything in between. And syncing up things close by with things in the distance. Oh, and then GTA, I'm 99% sure, has gang stalkers. The NPCs are gang stalkers. They're doing synchronized gang stalker tactics. Hey, is this a plane flying over me today? Where's the plane? He's not flying over me. Okay. Well, UPS is taking off with a white car, though, and then there's a cop with them at the same time. And then the UPS is syncing up with the white car again, the same one. And then there's also another white SUV in the background that was also syncing up with them. And then my refrigerator just turned on, synced up with them, or with me talking or something. It had to be synced because every time it's always synced. My refrigerator is a stock bot. It just it just gets louder right when I'm doing that. And it just got quieter again right when I did it again. Can you hear it? I think you can probably hear it. It just does that too. Like, I don't know how, but it does. It just does. Don't ask me how. I have no idea. All I know is it does every time. I see this guy crossing the street and walking up, and I just know when he gets over to the other place, he's gonna sync up, right? He's not gonna be a regular person for once. He's gonna be another one, right? Hmm? Maybe not. Maybe he was a regular person. I don't think he did anything. Nice. I saw one regular person today. Just one so far. Maybe a few more sprinkled in. I don't know. Oh yeah, and then like also when I went to get my chips the first time, there was a bunch of like it was all white SUVs there. Like they have all these different bays that you park in to get your pickup order, and like each one, like it was like full pretty much with people there, and like they were all white SUVs and white cars. It was like mostly white SUVs. And like a lot of them like pulled up right when I got there too. So like that was to purposefully waste my time too, because they're checking them out before they're checking me out. So like they have to take their food out to them first, and then out to me, and probably just to waste my time. Like maybe they would normally pick up that food, but like they would have picked it up at a different time if I wasn't going there at that time. You know what I mean? That's probably how it works. Is give them a gift card to buy food with. Whatever the fuck. Yeah, I don't think it's demons controlling my refrigerator. I think it's the Skynet machine. I think that's what it is. I don't know. Like, I guess that there may be just like pulsing electricity through it, or I don't know how it works. I don't know how my toilet does it either, but I don't think it's demons though. I mean, maybe it's demons behind the control board, but I think it's a technological demon. And then there's two whiteys syncing up and two red cars syncing up. And another car pulling up with the red car. It looks synced up. And then there's this tan car. Is it gonna meet another tan car? Like that video yesterday where there was two tan cars at the same time again. Which is pretty much every time I see a tan car, it's either just meeting me right at an intersection or there's another tan car around the corner that syncs up with it perfectly. as is evident on video even, like a lot of the times when I'm seeing a tan car, it's meeting another tan car perfectly. There's just another tan car with it magically, coincidentally, schizophrenically, or orchestratedly. Which one? Is it hallucinatorily or tactically that I'm always seeing a tan car with another tan car whenever I see one? I got a cold, y'all. I'm not a bot. They die off when I ignore them. No, they don't. They still drive around me. Slightly chemtrail outside, mostly sunny. There's a guy walking all the way across the parking lot. Is this guy gonna do a thing when he gets to the other side of the parking lot? Right when he goes around the corner of the building, I heard this noise outside that was like. I think it was someone like unloading a truck or something. Those make truck loading and unloading noises and dumpster slamming noises and throwing a pallet on the ground or whatever type of weird bangy slammy noises they want to make. And there'll be people yelling, synced, just being like, woo! And there's this other guy walking out. He just walked by me, and then he synced with a white truck, and then he's gonna sync again when he gets over to the other place. I guarantee it. And then he's gonna maybe not get in a syncmobile, and it's maybe gonna be white or tan, and then it's gonna be another tan car when it pulls out of the parking lot. And then there's gonna be a red car, and then a red car, and then a blue car. And then there's gonna be the purple cars, and then there's gonna be the whatever. I haven't seen the purple cars in a while. But occasionally they throw in the purple cars. And then occasionally I'll see this yellow Volkswagen Bug that I haven't seen in a long time, except like a couple weeks ago or whatever. I saw it like multiple times too. I saw it, but then I haven't seen it since then again. But I used to always see it like every day pretty much. Like when I first started recording and shit. I used to see that yellow Volkswagen bug everywhere, and it usually had one light. And I think there's multiple yellow Volkswagen bugs that stalk me, but one of them had one light. And then it was also sitting outside the hospital when I came out, when they made my nose bleed with the clown machine twice synced, and I had to go to the ER to get my nose cauterized because they made it bleed somehow with some directed energy weapon. At a synced moment, both times it started to bleed and would not stop bleeding. Well, it stopped the first time, but then the second time it wouldn't stop bleeding. So I had to go to the ER and get cauterized. And right when I came outside, the yellow Volkswagen bug was sitting out in the parking lot with his doors swung open. And I think it had the one light turned on, just sitting there with his car turned off, but the lights on. I think it had the one light on, if I remember right. But either way, it was just sitting there pointing at the door of the hospital as I came out with his door hanging open and just sitting there and just sat there until I left. Like, didn't ever do anything. But I used to see that car like every day, but I haven't seen it in a while. But it'll be back at some point, and then maybe it'll be back every day for a while. Who knows? When are the planes gonna come back? I don't know. Maybe today. Maybe next week. I don't know. Did they put a chemical, electrical device to stop your nosebleed? No, they just cauterized it. It was like right when I started to go live on YouTube, it started to bleed one night. Like I was just gonna go live on YouTube, talk about the gang stalkers, and then right when I click go live, and like the video's starting, and like I'm about to start talking, blood just starts pouring out of my nose. I should have kept the video up, honestly, but I just deleted it because I was just like, I don't want this. I don't want to see this. I should have kept it up as evidence that it actually did happen. Like right when the video starts, my nose starts bleeding, and then I just bleed all over my laptop. Like not on the keys, thank God, but like just all over that and all over the floor. There's just blood. I'm like, fuck. And I called the ambulance, and then they came, but then it stopped bleeding. So I was like, okay, it stopped bleeding. And then I don't remember if it was the next night or a few nights later. I'm out walking around, and it starts bleeding as I walk by my apartment door. Right at that moment, it starts bleeding again. And then it would not stop bleeding, and I had to call the ambulance. And I told him to go to the back door. She asked me, she was like, do you want me to go to the front or the back door? I'm like, the back door. So then I go out to the back door, and they go to the front door. I can hear them up there. So like in, I go back in the building, walk up to the front door, and come out, and they're gone. So I had to call them again and be like, hey, they went to the front door, send them back. And the whole time my nose is bleeding. It's like pouring out. And then all the way to the hospital, there's gang stalkers. Like I'm sitting in the ambulance, like facing, looking out the back window, you know? And there's gang stalkers following the ambulance all the way to the hospital. And then I came out and I saw the yellow Volkswagen Bug when I come out. And that was 2022, November. But anyway, if anybody got anything to say, if not, then I'm gonna get off. They just like heated up a like metal thing. It's like a metal tool. They just like heated up and then stuck it up my nose. But yeah, the whole time I've been talking, there's nonstop bots as always, driving by, and people making sounds inside of my apartment building, and talking synced and blowing their nose synced. And well, I didn't hear him blow his nose synced when I was talking, but he's always blowing his nose synced. They're always doing that. Or this one guy is always doing that. Just non-stop. Yeah, I don't think they put a tracking device in me. It was just a glowing hot metal stick that they put in my nose. They don't even need to do that. There's microchips in the chemtrails or whatever. There's like or nanoparticles or whatever. They don't really even need to do that. I'm just like, are these people even going anywhere? Or are they just and like how many of them are just coming back and driving around in circles? Just a lot of questions. It's just nonstop, though. Just nonstop synchronized traffic out there. I'm sure some of them, they're just on their way to work, and then they're like, go drive by the Target, if you want a gift card. Like maybe it's optional. Maybe it can be like, I don't want to drive by the Target right now. Decline. Or maybe they can accept or decline the mission. Or maybe they're forced to do it. I don't know. Somehow it keeps happening though, over and over. It's still happening as they speak, over and over, and then another whitey joins in, and then he syncs up at the other corner with another one, and it's just over and over and over. Over and over. Constant. Vinegar stops chemtrails, but then we need to spray some vinegar all over the sky. We need to get it. There's 2 red cars syncing up when I walk up to the window. And these other sync heads walking by. But, we need to get a chemtrail plane and fill it up with vinegar. And then go spray the whole sky. That's what we need to do. This white SUV just drove by me, and it just keeps going over and over. It's just so random, like, it's just stupid. So vote for ILCAT. We're gonna fill up all the chemtrail planes with vinegar. We're also gonna fill up chemtrail planes with psilocybin. And we're also gonna legalize swords. So you can open carry swords around, because why can you carry a gun around but you can't carry a sword around? I don't get it. I want to carry a sword around. It looks cool. So we're gonna legalize that, because I say so. So vote for ILCAT, y'all. Let's change America.